Hey, it's Alex again, and welcome back to another Roblox video. The response to my last video was absolutely insane, so I figured I'd make another one since you all liked it so much. Last time, I learned how to use Roblox and created an entire game in just 2 weeks. While this was a great learning experience, I wasn't completely satisfied with the final product. And based on some of the suggestions that were coming in, I think some players would agree. It could have been better. That's why I've decided to come back and make a new game in Roblox, but this time, it's actually going to be fun to play. The first step to making a fun game is identifying something fun. Duh! So, I took a look at my last game and tried to figure out what worked and what didn't. One thing that I found the most fun was the sword fighting mechanics, but unfortunately, they were locked behind the 2 previous levels. This meant that most players never got to experience the best part of the game. We don't want to hide the most fun part of the game, do we? To fix this, I decided to put the fun front and center in my new game. I wanted to create a game that was fast-paced and action-packed, with lots of opportunities for players to engage with each other and level up their characters. So I decided to go forward and create an RPG. To make the game even more exciting, I decided to add spells to the mix. The idea was to give players even more ways to attack and defend themselves. Also, this will add another way for players to progress and grow their character. In my last game, I also included pets that the player could collect. While these were fun to acquire, they didn't really serve any purpose in the game. So, I actually went back and decided to give pets a function. They would now affect the amount of fruits that a player could pick up. This was a small change, but it will make a big difference in terms of player engagement. Having a reason to have pets means that the player will now have a reason to spend gold, which feeds into the player loop. I wanted to try to keep this concept in mind when deciding what the player would be leveling up for and what they would be spending their resources on. To give players more control over their gameplay experience, I also added a skill tree. This allowed players to customize their characters by choosing different abilities and upgrades. Some included bird damage for fire spells, crit chance, unlockable spells, and more. I wanted to create a skill tree that was flexible and open-ended, so that players could express themselves and tailor their characters to their own playstyle. With the core mechanics in place, I began testing and allowed other people to play my game, which was really helpful in terms of getting feedback and identifying any issues. It's really quite interesting making a game now that people are looking out for it. It made me so happy to see people testing and enjoying my game literally the day I released it. I have to say, as a game developer, it doesn't get much better. So, actually, I'd like to take a second and thank everyone who's helped me out so far. Thank you. So far, I've created the basic, fire, and water skill trees, with 5 different abilities. In the immediate future, I also plan on adding 3 more skill trees: lightning, dark, and holy. I've also added a potion vendor and some cool animations for the potion UI. Using the tween service and condensing all of my UI into a module script made it so much easier to develop and allowed me to keep track of all my UI, ensuring that I knew where everything was at all times. I'm still working on balancing the combat and making it as enjoyable as possible. It's a process that I'll probably continue to tweak and refine as I work on the game. 2 things I think I might add to the experience to make it a little bit more enjoyable would be to make the player automatically turn towards any enemies when attacking, and also to have any projectiles you fire automatically aim at your enemies, which, inadvertently, I've already figured out when designing the boss monsters, as they fire fireballs from their sword at the player. Currently, I've called the game Battle Mage, but that could change at any time. If you're interested in playing what I've made so far, or want to help out in development, there are links below to my game and my Discord channel. Thanks for watching!